still! Stay still! Get out of here!
Chegou a hora do primeiro grande lançamento de 2022 da Warner. Chegou a hora de Batman. O novo Batman marca a estreia do Robert Pattinson no icônico papel do Homem-Morcego, mas ele não é a única estrela desse filme. A produção também conta com Zoë Kravitz, Colin Farrel e muito mais. Eu sou a Valentina Pulgarín e esse é o Inside Warner The Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be bothering you here, but your people keep telling me you're unavailable.
When you take on a role like that, you need guts. You know, you actually need to have courage. What's on stake for an actor when he takes on a role like this, and what were your fears?
Lots of different fears. I'd grown up watching the movies and kind of loved all of the movies, and also a lot of my kind of massive heroes have played Batman before, so it was definitely quite intimidating. And as soon as I read the script, I was like, oh, it does feel different. It feels quite unique.
Of course it's a Batman movie, so you have to make it thrilling, there has to be the spectacle, but all of that has to be filtered through this idea of these characters. This was the story of this corrupt city and the people in it.
You know, you really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything.
It was wonderful because it raises these questions, I think, for all of us, for the audience and for the others that are in the room. Like, who is this character? Who is he?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
Rob, it seems to me like it's almost impossible to not lower your voice. How would you practice to get that pitch perfect for Batman?
I started out my first week trying to do this other voice, which wasn't low.
I have to hear this voice.
and I did it, and I tried. Matt let me do it for like half a day, and he's like, I think.
Was it high?
It was more like whispery, and like I watched one of the takes, and it's like, that does not look right at all. But it's funny, yeah, it's difficult because it's kind of, people have done these like really iconic voices for it as well. Yeah. And so you're trying, and it's voices I've done like imitations of for years. It's really difficult to not do the voice which someone else has done. But yeah, it takes a little getting used to. I spent a lot of the movie like,
like vocal warm-ups.
Everyone talk about what it is to look yourself in the mirror when you put the suit on, but how does that emotionally and mentally affect you as an actor?
And it just changes your whole stance, everything changes, and people react to you differently. Like, people get out of your way. It's funny because the armor on it's kind of like real armor. So if someone bumps into you, like,
it hurts. I hurt myself a few times.
Everyone hurts themselves.
I can take care of myself.
I tell you, I love seeing this Selina Kyle version who's more human. How do you think your version of her is going to change maybe the preconception people has of Catwoman and Selina?
Well, I hope that people get a greater sense of who she is as a human being.
The bat and the cat. It's got a nice ring.
A new friend of yours? I'm not so sure.
In this film, she's not really Catwoman yet, you know, so it was really quite easy to focus on Selina and learning a little bit more about why she is the way she is and what will lead her to make the decision to be Catwoman is really wonderful. And I think also, you know, in a film like this, we often don't get multi-dimensional female characters, and I think it's really important to explore that more.
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
what I loved about it the most is that the movie, it's a riddle itself, you know, kind of like for the audience.
Well, that was really the thing. You know, it's interesting. Early on, I knew that I wanted to lean into the world's greatest detective aspect. I felt like that was the one thing. I wanted the movie to feel fresh. I wanted to approach it in a story that hadn't been done in the movies, because there are so many great Batman movies, and I wanted this one to be able to stand on its own and to be distinctive.
I think what's wonderful about it is it allows us to ask questions about Batman that we don't necessarily, that sometimes we take for granted in previous versions. We had to see them with fresh eyes and move forward through the film in that way from the start.
All these years, you lied to me, Alfred. We all have our scars, Bruce.
I knew that what I wanted to do was to put Batman at the center of a very psychological story, and that I wanted his relationship with these characters, especially like with Selina Kyle, or even as he's having these scenes with the Riddler, that it would all be playing out in a kind of cat and mouse, very psychological sort of game. They're playing out these kind of riddles and these kind of puzzles, that all of it needed to be intimate as it was spectacular. And so that was really the key.
The Riddler is asking for you. The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
The riddle has such a strong, you know, preconception with people. What was the key to break that and actually create a memorable character?
Well, Matt Reeves really gave me the key, or the first key, which was a really beautifully, fully realized script. For me, it was about discovering probably who that person was and where their pain comes from.
I started thinking about real life killers, you know, because I thought of this idea of leaving messages and ciphers, and I thought that sounds like the Riddler. And so this idea that somehow the Riddler could be leaving messages for the Batman, which would be very unsettling for Batman, because Batman's meant to be anonymous. Why are you writing to me?
You came. I've been trying to reach you.
He could not be who he is without that mask. So, I mean, that is who the Riddler is, and that mask and his costume is giving him access to a part of himself that without he would probably not be able to have, as inspired by and similar to, I think, the Batman.
I'm just here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city. You're part of this too.
Paul, you know, knowing that Matt kind of wrote this character inspired by you, were you surprised to find out what was his conception of you as a person and as an actor as well?
Well, I don't... That's so funny. I don't think he wrote the character based on me. He said he may have been thinking of me to interpret and play this character, and I'm glad he did, because I loved him, but I can't answer why. You'd have to ask Matt that.
I by no means am saying that he thinks you're a serial killer.
But we do want to check out your closet. We want to check out your wardrobe.
Matt referenced a lot of serial killers, but I always saw him as much more than that. You know, his sense of purpose and intent feels so much greater than just a serial killer.
Everyone thinks they're right, you know? Everyone, that's the horrible thing about life, that everyone has their reasons.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind. But when it's denied, it's in violence you may find justice. The answer's justice.
And John, I also want to know, you know, when you play a villain like this, you know everyone wants the Batman to win. So how do you make him like likable and memorable as well?
My job is not to be likable. My job is to keep you awake. If you're sleeping, then I haven't done my job.
Colin, amazing job with the makeup department, and Mike Marino, right? How is that affecting your performance? Because usually I think it gives more immersion to it, but does it in any way make your job harder?
No, totally the opposite. The first time I saw it, I didn't see it on. I saw on Matt Reeves' screen, and Matt was very excited. He said, "You want to see what we're doing with the penguin? Come here." And he showed me the computer screen. I just thought, "Oh my God, my imagination had not traveled there at all." And so when I put it on, I was gone. I had license to design my own backstory for it, and I had a rationale and a date and an experience that he had that created that scar and stuff. But I was just given such a gift by Mike Marino, who designed the makeup. I really felt such childlike liberation.
Yeah, you could totally leave the set with the makeup on, go to Times Square, and have like a normal
I
day.
went into Starbucks. The first time we tried it on, I went into Starbucks. Yeah. It was amazing. And I was going to say I was the most self-obsessed penguin yet because I couldn't stop taking selfies.
John, do you remember when you saw him for the first time?
I had no idea it was Colin. I had no idea it was Colin. I had no idea it was makeup, and it looks really real.
I got you! I got you!
And guys, like maybe in the future, if we ever get the chance to think about a sequel of this movie, is there a Batman comic that you love and maybe could bring us that story?
Loads. I like the really psychedelic ones.
Matt can do it, I think.
Yeah.
Matt can do anything. I'm just gonna let Matt.
I definitely want to do this like a supernaturally kind of one.
He will never do that.
But I think there's a way of doing it.
He won't do that.
Maybe if you ask with your Batman voice, not the first one, maybe the second one.
Excuse me, please.
Pretty please.
What are you hiding?
Selena, don't throw your life away.
Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them.
You did it, and I hope you have a vacation after this because
thank
I
you.
heard from the cast that you worked a lot, so you deserve it.
True. Thank you so much.
O novo Batman chega agora nos cinemas e muito em breve você também vai poder assistir na sua casa. Então fica de olho na Warner Channel e nas nossas redes sociais para ficar sabendo de todas as novidades.
You're part of this too. How am I part of it? You'll see.
Eu sou Valentina Pulgarín e esse foi o Inside Warner Debate.